Weird science
is the revolution.
Amazing Spider-Man what number is this nonsense? 48. Amazing Spider-Man 48. And it's the Zeb Wells legacy number of past what it should be. So here we are. It's written by Zeb Wells, guest art by Todd Nauk, guest color artist Sonia Obach, and the letter of VC's Joe Caramagna. It's funny, too, the 3 books we're talking about, we have 2 books that have guest artists and one that just has complete guest writer. Yeah. What is going on? I thought that these Spider books were important. I thought so. But this one doesn't read like it. This is a mess. This book is a complete and utter mess. And in just a funny play, there is a letter to the editor in the back of this issue that talks about, hey, you know, that gang war, pretty cool, except it wasn't a Spider-Man event. They say it in the letter, and you could tell when you write letters in, you know, since I am a seasoned letter writer, Matt, you have to kind of kiss some butt. If you want to get the letter in, you kind of have to, you can't be totally negative or they're not going to do that, but you assume they probably have a pile of negative things. So usually you'll be like, and we have had points where we said, oh man, these have to be fake. We even called out one and I kind of gave the guy a little shade. The guy actually got a hold of me on YouTube because he had watched the video where I had mentioned him and actually said that the letter, that it was kind of out of time. It was like from before this one thing. It was kind of a funny deal. But
yeah, that happened.
When you go and you read these letters and you're like, these are people trying to get their letters in the book, trying to be, and they're almost all negative. You can see the negativity for this run and just seeping through. And a guy said the gang war was nothing to do with Peter, and Nick Lowe kind of laughs it off and say, yeah, a lot of people said that, but hey, we'll get back to something here, there, or the other thing. The problem is, this issue isn't about Peter either. You have yet another thing going on, that Peter is a pedestrian who's basically being ping-ponged around. He goes to help Betty, then that leads him into Janine and Ben and Ashley, and they're doing their thing with the Winkler machine. Peter's then trying to figure out what's going on. He's just all over the place, but not really doing anything Spider-Man-esque. And this still is Ben Reilly trying to get his memories back. How long are we going to deal with this? I mean, just at the end, when Janine says to him, man, maybe we shouldn't look into the past. Maybe we should look in the future. And then Ben's like, oh, my God. But that means that I don't have the things that really, Semi doesn't, Uncle Ben, no responsibility, none of that. I might be a bad person. We've had this discussion like 5 times. And just to point out, this all feels like been there, done that, to then lead to what's coming up next. Peter being Goblin, been there, done that. In fact, 5 months ago, been there, done that. And me and you were talking, all this nonsense just reminds me of Dark Web. And I don't ever want to be reminded. There's only one thing I hate more than Dark Web. That's Paul. That's it. Dark Web. I don't know what I would pick, but I probably would rather have dinner with a talking sentient mailbox or sandwich than Paul.
Or Rec Rap.
Also, just to point out, in the back, a letter in this one says Paul's a dud. Everybody's negative. So, yeah, Rec Rap. I don't know. Rec Rap, that'd be a tough decision. I'd be afraid Rec Rap would do something crazy. I don't know.
He'll prank you or something.
Yeah, he's on edge. You might get, I don't know. It might get handsy. I have no idea. I don't know what he's up to. So you have this begin. Again, you're beginning without Peter. You're beginning with the therapy session, because remember, you had last issue at the end when Ashley showed up, Queen Goblin, she said, oh, here I am. And then Janine and Ben said, oh, that's our therapist. Okay, you could kind of go with that was a little bit of a joke. No. We go back and see their therapy session in the most dilapidated apartment with a couch that I swear to God, if you're on that couch, you got crabs and hepatitis immediately. I would itch.
Fleas.
I'd itch for weeks just sitting on that. It wouldn't even matter if there's anything on it.
Bed bugs.
Everything. I don't know why I said crabs. It's getting mold. Just bad, right?
You know about that.
Yeah. So all that going on is just to set up that indeed she is their therapist, which she is, and the clone can. But
she's a therapist, but why is she practicing?
She is a therapist. I don't know, because I don't think that when she got her diploma, she was dressed up like that.
Yes,
right?
the Goblin didn't get the diploma, so she can't actually do this.
So it's just nonsense. What this is you try to be funny about the idea of we got to get to the Winkler machine and get your memories back. The dupe is that, and we don't see it, she should have said it here, that the Winkler machine, which the mind machine, again, should be more explained in the current deal here. It's an old thing. It really deals with Ned Leeds and the Betty stuff that I could give a rat's ass about. But you end up where you should say, the reason we need the Winkler machine, have Ben say, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about Fonzie? No, the Winkler machine. Peter was on it last, and all of his memories are in it. There's a residual memory basin, and we could grab those from it. That's what you need to set this up.
Well, he keeps saying he wasn't on it. Was he on it?
He says he wasn't. She lied to him. He wasn't. Okay. He was never on it. She lied to him. Yeah. She wants to turn him, Ned and all them, she's turning him into a goblin. She wants nothing to do with this. So that's the dupe. And almost in the way of, I'm going to give you my crap so then I don't have to be this, whatever. And Ben and Janine just, I hate to say it, they're just dumb. They're just going with the plan.
Idiots.
They're going to go do it. They're like, all right.
So they're just gullible idiots.
So all that is just to set up that stupid line at the end of last issue that nobody cared about. So now we have it here, and you have a fight, but a fight for the Winkler machine. You know, Betty says, I need the machine so that I can prove that Ned really got duped into being the goblin, from Roderick. And then she says, well, who do you think made the machine and made Roderick? Everything gets swirled around in a blender of bullshit. And then you end up with, like, what's Peter doing? He's just there. I'm telling you, he's just in stances at points.
Yeah.
He's like,
I do like his stances, though. I think he's cool. He looks cool in the stances.
Now, at one point when he says Easy Betty, he looks like he's like the female body inspector. He's about to do a little tune in Tokyo. So you have that. Then, okay, what? You're going to take the Winkler machine? You end up having Ashley go to attack Betty, but then Peter whips her into a wall, and what is going on? What is going on in this book? And then it's the back and forth. Ben, you don't need to do this. Oh, I do. No, you don't. And then, and the goofiest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life, you end up where Peter's trying to argue with everybody. Everything's going around. And Ben is like,
he's like, just gonna slide by you here real quick. I'm gonna slide on
by. I'm not gonna get in there. Oh, well, I fell into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what we fell into. A pile of duty.
So is the Winkler device...
I don't want to curse more. We fell in a pile of
You've
crap.
already unleashed it. You might as well keep going.
I said I wasn't going to. This is so ridiculous.
Is the Winkler device just a dentist chair?
That's what it seems like. I mean, they're like, okay, what you do is you get a good teeth cleaning. They end up checking, your number 4 molar looks like you're getting a cavity. Oh, by the way, you're a goblin. That's what happens. And again, that's what's going on. Ashley is trying to dupe, and Ashley's still trying to, we thought that she kind of resolved this a little bit in the Craven, the Hunt. They even mention it in that we've already done all that. Ben has been trying, like he ended up, what did he do in prison? Was he out in the yard? Was he working out? Was he thinking things through? Because it doesn't seem like he did anything to maybe decide. Like he could have come out of the limbo prison embassy and said, listen, I kind of thought things through. I don't think I want to make new memories, which is what Janine says at the end and what he should do. And really what Peter should do is say, Ben, don't slip into that dentist chair. How about you, get out of that stupid chasm nonsense. Like, let's put that behind us. Nobody likes that. Get rid of that.
Scarlet
and me
Spider.
and you will get rid of Paul. We'll get rid of Rec Rap. Like, how many bad things? The sentient mailboxes. Everything in this run stinks. But how about you stay with me? And I'll spin you a couple yarns. When we go to bed at night, I will tell you the stories of the Peter Parker, and I'll fill you in on the good things, and I'll let you know. You don't need to get in dentist chairs. You don't need to try to suck it out of me during dark web, and we'll get new memories, and I like you. That's the big play of this. You never have Peter say to Ben, hey, Ben, you're kind of me, and I like you. It always has to be them against, because if you do have that, it's all over. The story's over, and they seem to want to extend this, and now he's going to go off with Kane, and all they're going to do is sit around bitching about Peter as well, right?
Yeah,
That's all they're going to do.
It reminds me of the Hulk series from like 15 years ago. I didn't like it at the time, where Hulk basically went around with some kind of gun and just depowered all the other Hulks, like the Red Hulk and whoever else, right? There were a lot of them running around.
Right?
Yeah, he was mad. They level set it. They went back to regular Hulk. We need that here.
If this was Ben because he lost his memories, he kind of is, and it seems like he's losing his mind more last issue than this one, and gets to that point where he is pissed again. Oh my God. Maybe he thinks he's that whole play of him. I'm the real one, but whatever. But if you're going to make him mad, make him a villain if you're going to, because I don't see that anybody who's a Ben Reilly fan could like this either.
Right now, he's just a clown, in my opinion.
Yeah, he is a clown. I'm going to slip. Oh, whoa, I fell into that dentist chair. It's so ridiculous. So you have that. And so then, because things have to get even worse, you end up where Ashley's going to reach in. And then, even then, Betty, I don't know what that lady's doing. She's reaching in for some sporting equipment. And now she's back to being Jason, which we had already. And that kind of lessens that. And then you have such phrases as clot your tongue. I don't know about you or anybody else, but I had to zoom in. I thought I read it wrong. I thought that the font was weird and it was something else. I'm like, nope, clot your tongue. All right, I'll clot my tongue. Thank you.
And then also, too, you played hockey. If somebody pulled out a hockey mask, would you be like, you'd call it a hockey mask, not sporting equipment?
Yeah. And I'd be like, and even then it's like, what's she, a goalie?
Yeah. What's going on? It's very specific.
Why are you pulling out that goalie mask? Peter, what's he doing?
Yeah, goalie mask, exactly.
Who's that, Bernie Perrant? I could start yelling stupid crap. So she puts it on, but we've already seen that the wow factor of Jason, kind of with maybe a Freddy sweater.
I don't like it.
You're doing weird things here, and then also the talkity yakety. You've already had that. But then in that, the last issue had, which I didn't like anyway, but had a little bit of intriguing stuff. Ben losing his mind. Remember, he didn't recognize Betty and was making names mixed up. Yeah. Then you also had Janine in this, Jason mask, the sporting equipment she had on. She kind of felt like she was getting too immersed into it. Like Ben had to show up and kind of shake her out of it. In this, she's just going and they're attacking. And Betty's like, you were lied to. And Peter's like, I was never in the Winkler chair. I don't even like saying it. Oh, you don't get it? That this is a dupe. Ben's in trouble. And finally, she just takes the mask off and goes, I think I don't know why, but I think I believe you. I know why, because that's what the plot needs, because you got to get the hell and save Ben. But in that, at the end of this, nothing really happens because they run in. Peter grabs the flaming mace, threatens Ashley with it a bit. She yells, you ruined my treatment. They say it wasn't treatment. Ben gets off of the dentist chair. Janine hands him the ghost mask, which I wish Paul had, and they end up running away. They just run away off to their mini-series or whatever, which leaves Peter there with Ashley smashing her with the flaming freaking mace.
And it's weird, too, because he goes, you lied to me about the Winkler device. And she goes, I lied about many things, but not.
Yeah, and then she passes out or whatever.
So she's saying that he was on the Winkler device?
I don't know.
Maybe he just doesn't remember, but I don't really care.
He already had the sin. They even mentioned it slightly of, oh, man, I know what that was like. I had the sins. Oh, man, remember that stuff with Craven? All right. Yeah, no. I don't care either. I don't care. We're at the point in this run, you need to just put everything else aside. Get Peter doing Spider-Man stuff. If Paul's going to stay around, keep him out. I don't want to see him. Mary Jane's doing jackpot stuff. What you need to do is Peter being Spider-Man and Tombstone wanting to kill him. Those are the things that people actually like in this.
And Norman stuff. Yeah.
And Norman trying to fight off the sins and that. There you go. Ashley can be whatever. I don't even want her involved in that. I want a personal thing with Norman. Peter doing his things. Maybe he says, I got to really immerse myself into helping people because I'm off my game. I hate this nonsense. Whatever it has to be. But Tombstone, going after him and find out maybe what happened with Janice. There's some intriguing things. The intriguing things aren't Ashley. They're not Hallows' Eve. They're not Ben in this book. Or Betty, who just shot. The idea that she showed up, you might as well have somebody show up and say, oh my God, did you hear? Cap's a Nazi. And they're talking about Secret Empire. This stuff happened. I don't need it. I'm just screw it.
If you want to read about the Ned Leeds and Hobgoblin stuff, it's great. How long did when the Nick Spencer, was that 50 issues?
No, it lasted into almost 80 at one point.
Oh, so we're in for another 30 of this?
What we had then was Zeb Wells and, Cody Ziegler and even Kelly Thompson. They did the Beyond stuff, which again, I don't know anybody who loved it. You bring that up a lot in this. It's just, this is a almost like a weird type of clip show reminder of everything that nobody likes. Really, and I keep making the joke, at one point, Paul should have just walked through the scene. Just walked through. Didn't say, just to remind us how much we hate him. Sending it mailboxes.
It is consistently like either the top or second. It's always in the top 5 comics.
People buy it because
every
it's Spider-Man.
month, right? So
I said, that's bull
what are we
crap.
doing here?
Well, what are we doing? You're keeping people hostage by having
they know
a book
they'll buy
that
it.
they love. They know they'll buy it. You have Nick Lowe, this smack jerk, in the back in these letter to the editor where people are saying, this story was terrible. And he's like, yeah, we hear that. Oh, well, you'll see. Even when the one person says, I can't wait to get back to Tombstone, he makes it as if they're not even sure they're going to get to that. He says, well, down the line.
It shouldn't be, my excuse shouldn't be, well, I like Ultimate Spider-Man. I like Spider-Boy. I like Superior Spider-Man. But I should like this too.
Yeah, I want to like it. And I know that
like
we're going on
most.
and I'm losing my mind and it seems, but it's getting so frustrating. And this book comes out just about every week now. And it's just not good. And here's what you should be doing if you're going to do anything. You know people are going to buy the book. That's not a license to crap on them. What you might be able to do is experiment a little. Maybe try something. And if it doesn't, but you have to give these loyal fans something. You have to a cool down issue in this could be, well, we'll get a little wacky with that one. But here you go. We're going to really, no, they're taking advantage. They're taking advantage of it. They just have Zeb Wells, who, if you didn't see this past week, Cody Ziegler let it out of the bag that the whole thing with Kamala dying in this book was thrown at Zeb Wells by Kevin Feige. But that's why I think that Zeb Wells is on this book, because he's a schmuck who will just agree to anything they tell him to do. And you can tell that it has no direction. It's a mess. And he can't write himself out of a paper bag. It's terrible. And it's not Peter. It's not Spider-Man. It sucks. But what do you give this? I'm done with it. I'm telling you, at the end, you have Janine say, hey, you should have better memories. Then, again, I didn't want to talk about it. The Sinister Six are having a meeting where they're like, that's it. We're going to get that guy. That jerk. We've been wanting to get him so much. We're going to go to Oscorp and we're going to kick butt. And you're like, oh, my God, are they going to get Norman? Holy crap. What's Peter going to do? And then they end it with, yep, we're going to get that living brain. And there's crickets going. When they said that, I wanted everybody else in the room to go, what?
That living brain, it's
I didn't think we were going to living brain.
Embedded in each issue for some weird reason.
Just showed up out of nowhere.
Foreshadowing
we didn't even know. I get setting something up. We didn't know why it didn't feel like setup. And remember, it was those these guys were like, you better not use your phone. The living brain's here. And then we had Old Man River come in. Hey, you whippersnappers, you shouldn't be using your devil devices around the living brains. Don't take my picture, you'll steal my soul.
Did you get a look at that cover for next issue?
Yeah, it's a little wonky.
Is that Blood Hunt tie-in? What are we dealing with here?
I don't know. I don't even know what the hell
that is. Are those the Morbiuses?
Well, it looks like right there, first off, how is Peter's, his neck's broken, and he's, got a big fist. Then you got, I don't know. At least maybe that'll be good. This sucked. What would you give it?
I mean, listen, it's my longest running thing I've ever read, Amazing Spider-Man, but I'm just going to give this one a 4. I mean, I like the art.
I'm giving it a 3, and I like the art. The art's actually really good.
For a fill-in artist, yeah, of course.
Pretty cool. I don't love the pimply look of the skin of Ash.
The reptilian look.
Yeah, it's the reptilian. It's a little too much.
Scaly.
I don't like it. Reminds me of my youth. I had a little bit of an acne problem. I don't need those flashbacks.
It makes her a little less hot.
It's funny. I was going to mention, she doesn't look as hot.
It's not her sexiest self.
The hell with this book.
Weird science
is the revolution.